Good evening, folks. Hope you're well. I know. I thought I'd do a video about something I've been watching um, on Netflix, which I do. I do watch things on Netflix. It's just fantastic. I think it's the death of television. Personally, is Netflix. Anyway, what I want to talk about is I've been watching this. Everybody who's anybody really knows who Ted Bundy is. Yes, women all over the states of America are shaking at this very thought of this mention of this bastard's name. And it's a very, very good thing to watch on Netflix. If ever you get a chance, watch the Bundy story, Ted Bundy. It's unbelievable what police screwed up on in the 70s and 80s. It cost people their lives. Sometimes it was the police's fault of the oversight, the state boundaries, the non-communication between states as Bundy travelled across states to commit these murders. There is no doubt in my mind regarding Ted Bundy. He was a narcissistic psychopath murderer. And it was interesting to hear the guy that was interviewing him face to face doing the story, because he said that when he looked into Bundy's eyes, when Bundy was talking normally, he had very good, clear blue eyes. But when he started to get a bit arsey and reminisce about the actual murders he confessed to eventually, his eyes, the irises, coloured parts of his eyes would go black. And I've personally witnessed that, not on me, but I've seen it happen to other people. Twice in my life, really, when I've seen them getting angry. And there's no doubt in my mind that that's a demonic possession, if ever there was. And I'm pretty liberal in my thoughts about that. I'm pretty open-minded, but I think that there are evil people that are possessed on this world. There's no two ways about it. Look at what's happening in this world. But apart from the Ted Bundy story, the flavour of that is, of course, is that many aspects of police investigation and the legal system, they tend to be more concerned with the rights of the criminal than they do of the rights and ex-life of the murder victims. Okay, I get it. Some people kill people by accident. But I'm talking about premeditated, psychopathic serial killers. Or even killing one person, but it's planned meticulously and they get caught. These are the types I'm talking about. And it pisses me off, quite frankly, that we pussyfoot around with people who commit major crimes on society, hurting other people, particularly children and women. Well, anybody really, but particularly women and children, the more vulnerable ones in our society. And when these bastards get, if they don't get the death sentence, which I am a big fan of, I think that if you are a cold-blooded serial killer, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you're proven guilty, you're banged to rights, there's absolutely no wiggling out of it. You hang on the end of a rope within a week. Once your affairs are settled, that's the end of the matter. There is no debate that I am merciless like this. You kill someone by premeditating their murder, and you plan it and you scheme, you are going to be dead within a week. And I just don't get it. Why Britain doesn't have a death penalty. We used to have one. But even those countries that do have death penalties, like America, you can end up in death row if you like, and there is no set period of time. They go in a cell, and, well, you're on death row, that's it. You could be there for a month, unlikely, and you could be there for 25, 30 years. And it is a living hell, and lots of these prisoners end up wanting to die because they can't stand the thought of being locked up. Now, is that not cruel? Isn't it far more humane to say, make your peace, because it's Monday now, and Monday next week at 8 o'clock in the morning you will be dead. So you have something to aim for. You know the end is coming. We all know we're going to die, but we put it to the back of our minds, don't we, because we think it's so far away. But why do we treat people who are narcissistic psychopaths, murderers, premeditators? Why do we treat them with kid gloves? Why don't we see them for the evil bastards they are? Because I personally don't want to breathe the same air as them. I don't want them enjoying the sunshine. I don't want them enjoying food 3 times a day. I don't want them enjoying dental and health care free at taxpayers' expense. I don't want them to have warmth and comfort and sleep and get medical attention if needed, when the victims are already dead in their graves and the family left behind are having to live every day throughout their lives knowing that they're missing somebody, their loved ones, and that one who perpetrated the crime is going to wake up in the morning, he's going to have a shower, or she. They're going to have a shower, they're going to be nice, they're going to be warm, they're going to be comfortable, they're going to be fed, they can educate themselves even. Oh yes, but it's, what do you get with the liberals? Well, it's human rights. No. You kill someone by a premeditated act and plan to murder somebody, take their life away. You, in my opinion, have lost every human right you ever thought, because that puts you in the category of below animal. Okay? You're not even it would be insulting to animals. Animals don't kill for fun. The only animals that are known to terrorize their prey before killing them are cats. Okay? And I'm not a great fan of cats for that reason. They have been known to terrorize their prey to the extent that they'll kill it and just walk away, just for fun, because they can. So I'm not a great fan of cats. Not all cats do that, but most of them do. I don't know about you, but I just think that we should be very hard on people who are premeditating murderers, because we can do without the expense of having them on our planet. I don't want to have to be paying taxes for housing people in the relative safety of prison, because there are other prisoners obviously who rip their hearts out. They should have a tattoo on their foreheads. I've said this before. If you're convicted of rape, okay, as a male, you should have rapist tattooed on your forehead. That's it. And you can walk around the prison with rapist on your forehead and be very proud. Everybody will know you're a rapist. You won't be allowed to cover it up or have it taken away. It's a permanent mark. You're a rapist. Or murderer, child molester. You could have a list. Murderer, child molester, rapist, wife beater. You name it. Right across the forehead. There's no escape. The other thing you can do with these people is cut their ears off surgically. Very, very simple. It's an easy procedure. I just think that they should be set an example. It should be so horrific. The post-murder treatment of these perpetrators should be so horrific to contemplate. It'll get out of anybody's mind the thought of raping someone, premeditating someone's demise, yada yada yada. I don't know what you think, but I really value your comments underneath to see if you think I'm an extremist. because I don't think that there's any room in our society for these people. And yet you get the lawyers. How can if I was a lawyer, I couldn't possibly be a defense lawyer for somebody like Ted Bundy. There is no defense. You could say he's criminally insane. Well, if he's criminally insane, I think we should put an end to his life and do him a favour. That's my opinion. And taxpayers would love the expense. Think about how many murderers there are in prisons throughout the world, and then think about the money it costs to keep these bastards with a pulse alive in relative survivable comfort. And then tell me about that. Does the means justify the end? No. There'd be a week to say their goodbyes, and that'll be that. And that'll be the end of it. But we don't. Well, personally, I would say it's a week. Say your goodbye. No, there's no appeal. We've got such incredible technology now that can place persons at the scene, the DNA profiling, the preponderance of available evidence, the bite mark indications, saliva analysis, the hair follicle testing. The fact is he was caught with the victim or with his hand around her neck as she was dead. The evidence is overwhelmingly proving that he or she murdered that person quite deliberately and had planned to do so on many occasions. Some people, I grant you, get in a fight and they lose it, they have red out and they... Well, we can't have people like that walking around our society. Sorry to be so graphic, but there we are. You got to say, do you want to? You just don't know who you're walking past in the street then, do you? That's the issue with humans. You don't know. Ted Bundy, if you watch the Bundy story, you wouldn't think this guy is capable of harming a flea. Oh, a woman's man if ever there was. He could talk, he could cut your throat and make you look forward to the trip. What a great con man this possessed, psychopathic, narcissistic bastard was. Well, he's not alone. There's prisons full of these types. But me, personally, I think they'd be gone off the face of this world within a week, and that's being generous. Don't give them time. Don't give them any more attention. Don't give them any media press. Don't let them write any books. Nobody's interested in reading. We've got the evidence. It's stacked against you. It's irrefutable proof. Say your goodbyes, Teddy boy, because you've got a choice. You can have lethal injection. That's quite comfortable. Hanging, it's equally quick. Pick your poison. Lethal injection is by far the nicest way to be euthanized. What they do is they whack you full of Valium, or Hypnoval they call it. That sort of relaxes you a little bit, just in case you're a bit scared. And then they fill you full of thiopentone, okay, which will put you to sleep. And then they whack you with a mega dose of muscle relaxant. The thiopentone will keep you asleep while the muscle relaxant stops you breathing. So effectively, you suffocate in your sleep. And that's the end of the matter. It's good night, Vienna. What a nice way to go when you think about it. It's a nicer way to go than getting clubbed on the head a few times and brutally raped and tortured prior to somebody murdering you like he did to people, his victims. So why do we put the prisoners' rights so high up on the agenda? We know what they've done. And yet we're ultra polite to these people. The judges are polite to these people. The lawyers are polite to these people. They're not people. They're less than animals. Okay. And if they don't get the death sentence, we should at least, huge tattoo, rapist, child molester. We have to make their lives totally untenable, that they will want to die. Because every time they look in the mirror and see themselves, you could do rapist that way and then do a one backwards, so when they look in the mirror it'll say rapist. They will never, never, never escape what it is they truly did every time they look in a mirror. And they wouldn't be allowed to cover it up. And at least the prison guards will know what they're dealing with when they're walking around. And if they ever escaped, can you imagine? No. Either cut their ears off, which will make them easily identifiable in the general public should they escape, or put a bloody great tattoo across their heads. One on the chin even. Yeah. Child molester, rapist, wife beater, murderer. Yeah. That's my idea of justice, folks. Sounds cruel, doesn't it? But wouldn't you find that the crime rates would go down? People should watch a film called The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's a subtitled film, but you should watch it. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, if you want to see what should happen to somebody who rapes a defenseless girl. Because what she does to that man, well, you just watch what she does when she catches hold of him. Yes. Why don't we permanently mark these bastards? After all, they've murdered someone. And they think they got away with it. And I personally resent having to be on the planet at the same time as them. And they're enjoying fresh air. They're enjoying the warmth, the comfort, the ability to sleep, the education afforded them by the books they're under civil rights allowed to bloody read. They would be in a cell. No other human contact allowed. Nada. And they get fed by plate in and plate out. No communication. And life should be meaning life. And it should be such a miserable residual life for them. I would bloody torture these bastards as a daily form of entertainment. That's me being the psychopath. But I wouldn't do it to innocent people. And people say, well, you should line them up against the wall and shoot them. Yeah, fine. But even when you've got 12 men who have got guns and they're going to shoot somebody, at least one of those guys has a blank. And not one of them know if it's them holding the blank or not. So when they do shoot, they haven't got the guilt because they think, they never know for certain whether their bullet hit the target. Was it a blank I fired? So at least it's taken the onus off the execution squad. I personally would be wanting the bullet. I want to know. I want the satisfaction to know that I'm cleaning up the shit. And I do feel sorry for police who get eternally frustrated with the Zionist bloody lawyers out there who make their living protecting such assholes as these murderers and these criminals to make a buck. Yeah, but that's the way of the world, isn't it? Way in America. Only in America. No, there are psychopathic murdering bastards in Great Britain. And they get locked up. And they're allowed friends, they're allowed exercise, they're allowed time in the gym. Yeah, they're allowed education and healthcare and dental care. All for free. Yeah, at my expense. For murdering someone cold-bloodedly. In my world, this would stop. I'd value your opinions. Mustache got a heck of a day tomorrow, but Got all these puppies to look after, and I promised I'd be brief. But what's your take on this? Go watch the Ted Bundy story, and then you tell me whether you wouldn't hang him up by his testicles or have him publicly flogged before he's executed within a week. That would stop it very quickly in this world. But there's no escape. Sometimes when people are mentally crazy, they'll kill and they'll have the illusion that they think they're going to get away with it, and many do. But they should be under no illusion if they are caught and found guilty. They got less than a week to live. So don't get too used to the nice comfortable bed and the 3 meals a day and the medical and dental treatment, will you? Get yourself busy about whether you're going to take the electric chair, drugs, or hung by the neck. Take your pick. See ya.